It's the week of Thanksgiving. And for those of us who are trying to raise our race consciousness through the learning and unlearning of our history, I have a challenge for you this week. Just Google the myth of Thanksgiving. And I'd like to just give you a little bit of the cliff note version, if you will, of why the Thanksgiving story is a myth and is riddled with historical inaccuracies. And I'll go a step further and say how damaging the telling and retelling of this falsehood is deeply harmful to the Wampanoag Indians, whose lives and society were forever damaged after the English arrived in Plymouth. So what is the Thanksgiving myth? This myth that all of us are familiar with, that friendly Indians, unidentified by tribe, welcome the pilgrims to America, teach them how to live in this new place, sit down and have dinner with them, and then disappear. That somehow the natives to this land, in this case, the Wampanoag tribe, handed off America to white people so that they could create this nation dedicated to liberty, opportunity, and Christianity for the rest of the world to profit. Really, it's a story about how Native people, this myth is about how Native people conceded to colonialism, and it's just not true. So some of the specific inaccuracies. One is that history doesn't begin for Native people until Europeans arrive. That is a myth. People had been in the Americas for at least 12,000 years, and according to some Native traditions, since the beginning of time. Second is that the arrival of the Mayflower is some kind of first contact episode, and it's not. And finally, that the use of this shared dinner as a symbol for colonialism really has the story backward. The Thanksgiving myth doesn't address the bloodshed, the disease, the relationship amongst those native to the land and the Europeans, which ultimately led to one of the most historical colonial Indian wars on record today, King Philip's War. And it also doesn't address the survival, the resilience of the Wampanoag tribe and their adaptation over centuries, which is why they're still here despite their odds. So this week, if you are looking for ways to continue to raise your race consciousness, I highly encourage you to Google the myth of Thanksgiving and encourage you to incorporate this historical perspective at your Thanksgiving dinner table, and maybe consider recognizing November as Indigenous Peoples Month and pay respect and gratefulness for the resilience and the diversity of the hundreds and hundreds of tribes in America today and their survival and their resilience.